Hello and welcome back. My name is Jack B. And as always, thank you for viewing my video. The topic of this episode is voting and citizenship. I will open with two quotes that have resonated with me since I first heard them when I was a child. One quote is from the Declaration of Independence, and the other quote is from the U.S. Constitution. I am not sure why they have resonated with me all these years. Maybe because I grew up in the part of the country that was the heart of the Revolutionary War to establish our country, and I lived around the locations of the events that had major impacts upon the war, places and events such as the Boston Tea Party, the shot heard around the world, the Old North Church, the Liberty Bell, Independence Hall, and the many battlefields that led to America's victory. Maybe I just felt connected to those whose beliefs made sense to me. The first quote is from the Declaration of Independence. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And it goes on to say that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed. A government of the people, by the people, for the people. Elected officials work for the people. The second quote is from the preamble of the U.S. Constitution. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty to ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. These words apply to all American citizens. We all must ensure these words are applied to all Americans and never lost. The population of America today is approximately 340 million people. We are made up of a diverse group of global people. We all come together to enjoy the American way of life as envisioned by our founding fathers. None of us are invincible by ourselves. We need to stand together and support one another. The slide depicts only a few categories in which we fit. There are many, many more categories that are not listed. The current birth rate cannot sustain our population. We need immigrants to assist with our continued growth. The path to citizenship is hard, and it should be hard. I believe Americans want to maintain their way of life and their country based upon the tenets and beliefs that underlie the Declaration of Independence and the U.S. Constitution. I also believe most American citizens agree there is a need for a process of vetting individuals to become American citizens. We are essentially inviting people into our home, America. Becoming an American citizen is a two-way street. The expectation is that potential candidates for citizenship will study, learn, understand, and adhere to our laws and customs. They will abide by the U.S. Constitution. They will not act in a subversive manner or cause our way of life to be subsumed. The potential candidates must also provide a benefit to America. In return, we, existing Americans, will respect their heritage and personal beliefs as long as those beliefs do not subvert the Constitution or America's way of life. We will support the candidates for citizenship under U.S. Constitution and our laws so that the new citizen can enjoy the benefits offered by America and the U.S. Constitution. Over the years, immigration, citizenship, and voting rights have always been linked. Sometimes a law would prevent people from exercising their unalienable rights. It has been a struggle to align laws in such a manner that they support people's rights. The path to obtain changes and gain acceptance in the U.S. can be a long, drawn-out process. It can start with the people pushing for a change. If accepted by Congress, then Congress enacts a law. Then the states follow suit to support the law. The federal government must follow up to assure the law is implemented as intended by all states. And finally, the hard part of the process, getting the remaining Americans on board to accept and live the change. It's not easy to have people accept something new or even just a bit different than they are used to. Voting is the mainstay of the American way. Each and every American citizen of voting age has the right to vote. The voting rights road traveled from 1776 until today has been a struggle. But I think if one looks at the progress we have made, there have been improvements along the 250-year arduous journey. Native Americans were the original people in North America, followed by a major influx of people starting in the 1500s through the 1800s. European, African, Asian, and Middle Eastern men and women came to America for various reasons, but all wanted citizenship. With citizenship comes the right to vote. The Naturalization Act of 1790 was the first immigration act to define uniform rules for citizenship. Over the years, federal laws have been enacted to exclude certain people, and laws have been enacted to include certain people. During the 1900s, the laws fluctuated but ended in positive gains. In addition to the immigration laws, there were voters' rights amendments being enacted. Some notable laws were the 15th Amendment ratified on February 3, 1870, which barred states from denying the right to vote on account of race, color, or previous condition of servitude. The 19th Amendment ratified on August 26, 1920, which guarantees American women the right to vote and prohibits denying or abridging a citizen's right to vote based on sex. The Snyder Act of 1924 granted citizenship to U.S.-born Native Americans. Native American men and women achieved some access to the ballot. The Immigration Act of 1924, also known as the Johnson-Reed Act, created a national origins quota system that severely restricted immigration, with a provision that completely barred the entry of almost all Asians. The Immigration and Nationality Act of 1952, also known as the McCarran-Walter Act, consolidated existing laws, maintained the national origins quota system, but eliminated racial bars to naturalization, particularly for Asians. The Immigration and Nationality Act, ratified on October 3, 1965, which abolished the national origin quota system that had previously restricted immigration, created a preference for family reunification and skilled workers. The Voting Rights Act, VRA, ratified on August 6, 1965, prohibits racial discrimination in voting. It is designed to enforce the 14th and 15th Amendments and overcome legal barriers that had prevented minorities from exercising their right to vote, the 1975 extension of the Voting Rights Act. Section 203 was added to the law to require that all voting and election materials be provided in the language of the applicable minority group as well as in the English language, which removed language barriers for Latino and Asian American communities. The Immigration Reform and Control Act, ratified on November 6, 1986, provided amnesty to millions of undocumented immigrants and made it illegal to hire undocumented workers. My opinions in summary: there continues to be hurdles to overcome to prevent the ability of one group to manipulate a situation that prevents some segment of American citizens from their ability to have their vote count. Open borders are not an option. Unlimited asylum seekers are not an option. We can't have 1.4 billion people at our borders. We have limited funding and resources. Potential candidates for citizenship must meet certain criteria that help us continue to keep our way of life sustainable. Existing citizens must assist new arrivals to become Americans. Potential candidates for citizenship should support the U.S. Constitution and the American way of life. Well, these are my thoughts for today. And again, whether you agree or disagree, please verify the information presented. Thank you, and until next time, take care and be safe. Ooh.